Look down at your phone. Go ahead. Check your battery percentage. Feel that subtle, creeping dread when it hits 12% and you realize you forgot your charger. Now scale that feeling up to an entire planet. We like to pretend Earth is a permanent residence with infinite property value, but it's actually a temporary rental on an extremely noisy cosmic lease. If you logged into yesterday's entry, you already know our home planet has nearly suffered 7 complete system resets. It's gotten hit by rogue space rocks, frozen into a giant snowball, and suffocated by angry volcanoes. If you want the full breakdown on how we almost turned into Mars 7 separate times, check out Earth Was Never Meant for Us. Because if attempt number 8 rolls around, we're going to need a backup plan. Before we initiate hyperdrive to inspect the cosmos for a new address, the log demands we establish the vessel rules. Fact 1. Today's orbital data has been cross-referenced by researchers whose primary source of daily dopamine is finding a typo in a competitor's research paper. Fact 2. Should our gravitational tether snap, complementary existential crisis stress balls can be found directly inside your seat cushion. If you want to ensure your seat on the interstellar escape shuttle before planetary algorithm maintenance locks us out, smash that subscribe button right now. Engines primed? Good. Let's find somewhere else to live. Destination number 1. Kepler 186f. Located 500 light-years away in the constellation Cygnus, this world orbits right in the habitable zone. It gets about 30% of the stellar energy Earth gets from the sun. The catch? Its host star is an M-dwarf, a tiny, cool red star. High noon on Kepler 186f feels like an eerie, endless October sunset at 5 p.m. Because red light dominates the spectrum, plant life here wouldn't be green. Plants would evolve to absorb all available wavelengths, turning the entire landscape pitch black. Imagine moving into a neighborhood where the scenery is permanently styled like a Gothic rock album cover. You step out onto your porch, sip your morning coffee, and look at a lawn of pitch black grass under a dark red sky. It's the ultimate paradise for anyone whose aesthetic is permanent moody brooding, but good luck getting your vitamin D without severe existential dread. So ask yourself, could you spend the rest of human history living inside a heavy metal album artwork? Destination number 2, Proxima Centauri b, the closest exoplanet to Earth, sitting just over 4 light-years away. In galactic terms, that's practically in our driveway. Here's the catch, it's tidally locked. The same side of the planet perpetually faces its star, while the other side faces deep space forever. One side is a permanent, scorched desert oven. The other is a pitch-black, frozen wasteland where carbon dioxide freezes solid. Humanity could only survive in the eyeball zone, a razor-thin, ring-shaped twilight band right down the center where the temperatures balance out. Living here would be like sharing an apartment with a roommate who sets their bedroom AC to freezing while the kitchen is actively on fire. Your entire civilization's real estate market would consist of a 5-mile-wide strip of land. Imagine real estate prices when 4 billion humans are fighting over the exact same twilight lawn. How long before we start fighting wars over who gets to step 2 feet to the left into the warm shade? Destination number 3, TRAPPIST 1e. 40 light-years out, sitting in an ultra-compact solar system containing 7 rocky Earth-sized worlds packed ridiculously close together. Because the planets are jammed so tightly into orbit, if you stood on the surface of TRAPPIST 1e, the neighboring worlds wouldn't look like tiny specks of light. They would hang in the sky larger than our moon, glowing with visible cloud patterns, oceans, and continents. Interplanetary travel here wouldn't take months or years. It would take days. Taking a spaceship to another habitable world would be the equivalent of catching an express city bus on a Friday afternoon. Hey, where are you going for the weekend? Oh, just taking the 4:15 shuttle to World 4. Their ocean weather is nice this time of month. It sounds ideal until you realize having 7 habitable worlds in one system means 7 times the administrative paperwork, interplanetary customs control, and roaming charges. How ready are you to deal with cosmic border patrol on your weekend trip? Destination number 4, KLT-9b, a world so absurd it forces us to rethink what a planet even is. Orbiting a star twice as hot as our sun, KELT-9b reaches surface temperatures exceeding 4,300 degrees Celsius. That is hotter than most stars. It's so hot that molecules in its atmosphere, like water vapor and carbon dioxide, are ripped apart into raw atoms. Iron and titanium aren't solid metals here. They are gas vapor in the air, creating a sky that literally rains liquid vaporized metal. It's a planet acting like an unhinged microwave oven left running on high for 4 billion years. If you think your local summer heatwave is unbearable because the asphalt is sticky, imagine living on a world where the atmosphere itself is a literal blast furnace, ripping apart the chemical bonds of matter. It's proof that space isn't just empty. It's actively trying to break the laws of basic comfort. Designation number 5, WASP 76b. Located 640 light-years away, this gas giant is tidally locked to its parent star. On its day side, temperatures soar high enough to vaporize iron. Strong planetary winds sweep that vaporized iron over to the cooler night side, where it condenses and falls out of the sky as heavy liquid iron raindrops. Forget grabbing a light coat because there's a 20% chance of drizzle. Here, checking the weather forecast means checking whether you need heavy armor, plating, to go outside and retrieve your mail. Imagine sitting on a porch listening to the peaceful sound of a gentle evening shower, except every raindrop is a drop of molten steel slicing through your porch roof. Does our rocky, boring rain sound a little more pleasant now? Destination number 6. 55 Cancri E, twice the size of Earth with 8 times its mass. Scientists calculate that at least 1/3 of this planet's mass is composed of pure carbon under extreme pressure. In other words, it is a super-Earth made largely of diamond. The total market value of this world would crash every economy in human history combined. But before you start planning a mining expedition to become a trillionaire, consider the location. It orbits its star so closely that a full year lasts just 18 hours, and the surface is a compressed ocean of liquid lava. It's the ultimate cosmic joke. The universe built a vault containing trillions of carats of pure diamonds, but placed it inside a planetary pressure cooker that burns at 2,000 degrees. It's like finding a briefcase filled with $10 billion, but it's sitting inside an active volcano. How much value does wealth have when you can't survive the trip to pick it up? Destination number 7. TOI 700d, 100 light-years away. It's almost the exact same size as Earth, gets 86% of the energy we get from our sun, and sits peacefully in a stable, quiet solar system with potential liquid water oceans. No molten metal rain, no 4,000-degree thermal collapses. A true, quiet, Earth-like sanctuary. The catch? 100 light-years. With our current fastest spacecraft technology, traveling to TOI 700d would take roughly 2 million years. That means if humanity launched a ship today, by the time our descendants arrived, 2 million years of evolution would have turned them into a completely different species. You aren't booking a weekend getaway. You are sending a message into the dark that won't be read until humanity as we know it no longer exists. We scan the stars searching for worlds with liquid water, stable atmospheres, and quiet suns. We spend billions mapping distant light years, hunting for a world that might give us a second chance. And yet, every single exoplanet we discover only reveals the same haunting truth. The universe is full of matter, full of energy, and full of worlds. But it is almost entirely devoid of comfortable sanctuary. The iron rain, the tidal freezes, the radiation-scorched deserts. That is the default state of reality. Earth isn't just a location. It is an ultra-rare, incredibly fragile anomaly. A tiny island of quiet grace inside an infinite, indifferent ocean. We drew lines between the stars and called them our future homes. The universe just called it a reminder of what we already have. Drop a comment below letting me know. If you were forced to migrate today, which exoplanet would you risk surviving on? Hit that subscribe button to stay logged into the journey. Log entry closed. See you on the next ascent.